You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 5.
Tonight on a special edition of WVUA News at 5, we remember December 16, 2000, the day a deadly tornado destroyed hundreds of homes in Tuscaloosa County and took almost a dozen lives. We revisit that day and take a look at how things have changed 10 years later.
And our meteorologist Richard Scott will give a weather team perspective of the December deadly tornado here in Tuscaloosa County. That's coming up in just a bit.
Thanks for joining us for this special edition of WVUA News at 5. I'm Lynn Brooks.
And I'm Terry Brewer. Tonight we look back 10 years to December 16th, 2000, the day of a deadly tornado in Tuscaloosa County.
11 people were killed, more than 100 injured. Hundreds of homes were destroyed and lives torn into pieces.
At 12:54 p.m. on December 16th, 2000, the F4 tornado roared through Tuscaloosa County, cutting a path of destruction 18 miles long. 144 people were injured, 251 homes destroyed, 179 mobile homes damaged, and 13 businesses were affected. Total damage estimates were around $12.5 million. To give you a sense of just how big of a tornado it was and how people were impacted, we're taking you back to that day.
WVUA reporter Billy Hong filed this report on December 16, 2000, with the information known to our crews at that time.
The twister you're seeing was responsible for today's widespread damage across Tuscaloosa County. Homes were leveled to the ground, trailers were blown away to nothing, and families were torn apart within just a matter of minutes.
We've had a tornado that has come through, yet unknown what class it is. Right now I can confirm 7 fatalities.
These fatalities are accompanied by 41 injuries and 2 missing people. Areas in Tuscaloosa hit hardest by today's twister, extended from Bear Creek Road all the way up to East Cottondale.
Damage that occurred out in the county has been severe over in the area of Bear Creek and Old Marion Road, especially in the area of the Bear Creek Trailer Park. That's where we had a number of the fatalities.
After the extensive damage to the Bear Creek area, one man says he is just fortunate to be alive.
Some houses are just totally gone. You wouldn't even know that there was a trailer there. We're just blessed by God that, we're alive.
The Woodland Forrest area was also hit hard by today's twister. Kathy Jones says she is also fortunate to be alive after the tornado ripped down her street, leaving this tree on top of her home. Jones says today will be a day she'll never forget.
The sound was very, very loud. Very loud, and the stuff was just crashing. I could hear it, but I don't know. I was just so scared. I was so scared.
Homes in Hinton Place along with Hillcrest Meadows were also leveled to the ground. Residents living in these areas were forced to go elsewhere for the night. Meanwhile, officials say today's twister may take months to clean up.
Homes turned into rubble, trees snapped like twigs. Just miles and miles were devastated that day. An aerial view here after state officials came in to survey the damage, and here's what they saw. You can see here just homes destroyed, lives really torn apart that day. Especially hard hit were the areas in southern Tuscaloosa.
10 years ago today, our station was in the middle of live severe weather coverage as the tornado was on the ground and heading toward the station at its former location on Jug Factory Road in Tuscaloosa. WVUA meteorologist Richard Scott joins us with a look back at that day from the perspective of our weather team. Richard?
Yeah, that's right, Terry. Chief Meteorologist John Mason actually had to take cover in the middle of the storm. He stayed on there nonstop during the severe weather coverage of this terrible tornado event here in Tuscaloosa County. Let's take a look.
In the Skyline Boulevard area as well, obviously Walmart, the Walmart, McFarland Mall, us here. We're looking out west.
That's it.
We're looking west now. It's heading towards Skyline Boulevard it's moving west. If you live in Sky Ranch, if you live in Jerusalem Heights, there's a tornado right now moving towards you. I'm looking at it outside right now. You should be in a safe place. Don't do what I'm doing. This tornado is coming right towards Skyline Boulevard and Jug Factory Road. We're taking cover. We're taking cover. We're taking cover. It's coming right at us. Go to the middle part of your home. It's visually, I see it outside on the ground. Okay, this is video from Billy Hong. Let's get a look at this. That is a substantial tornado. Is that it? That's it. Where?
That's the tornado. Yep.
All right. All right. This is video from our Our very own, that's it. That is a large tornado. That's a large tornado.
I don't know about you, but that runs chills up my spine just listening to that. Hopefully, we'll never have to deal with anything like that again. Now, here's the tornado itself. The path of it started back along the Black Warrior River in southwestern Tuscaloosa County, kind of followed the interstate just to the south and moved again over the Taylorville area, Hillcrest area, and eventually ended over in Cottondale. 18-mile path, 11 people were killed, and over 100 people were injured in this terrible event. Hopefully, again, we won't ever see anything like that again. But Lynn and Terry, back to you guys to the desk.
Thank you, Richard. In an instant, that peaceful Saturday afternoon turned tragic. Hundreds of lives were turned upside down. Several neighborhoods in Tuscaloosa County were either hit or destroyed. Homes in Hinton Place, in fact, were leveled. That neighborhood is off Highway 69 South in Tuscaloosa County. Many families became homeless within just minutes. Vehicles landed in swimming pools and brick walls were knocked to the ground. Now, a decade later, residents of Hinton Place subdivision have rebuilt their lives and their homes. The walls are standing again, roofs have been replaced, people trying to just get life is moving on back to normal, and so are the families there that we spoke with today.
It just changed the whole neighborhood, you know. It's still a nice place to live, but it's not what it was when I bought this lot down here in 1988.
Also affected by the storm in a big way, Bear Creek Road Mobile Home Park in Tuscaloosa County. In an instant, lives were devastated as that trailer park was leveled by the storm. The scene included tangled sheet metal and tree branches were snapped in two. People there described it as a war zone. This would be where most of the tornado victims were killed. And now 10 years later, the damaged mobile homes have been replaced. But one resident told WVUA, even though a decade has passed, the memories are still clear because residents lost everything and had to start over.
It was a lot of struggle, a lot of pain. I mean, coming down this road and just seeing everybody, people you know, just laying there, not knowing whether or not they were about to make it, not knowing whether or not you were going to get down to the trailer park and even have a home.
D&G Grocery in the Bear Creek area was one of the few structures that was still standing in the aftermath of the tornado. Owners of the D&G, Debbie and George Stevens, welcomed more than 20 neighbors into their store that day so they could find some shelter from the storm. You can see how the building suffered damage from this video here we took shortly after the storm. And in the past 10 years, Stevens has rebuilt D&G and moved on with his life, but he says since that day, business has simply not been the same. The atmosphere changed after December 16th, 2000, and business slowed down in the months after the tornado.
A lot of people moved off because they were fearful, or maybe it was because they had bad memories, or But of course, tornadoes can strike anywhere, so I mean, you can't really run away from them.
During the cleanup from the tornado, the Stevens said they found some bizarre things in and around their store, including someone's refrigerator. And we have more coverage of the deadly December 16th tornado on this 10th anniversary later at 5. You will hear from an emergency responder on the scene that day. He will join us live in our studio. But first, we pause to remember the people who lost their lives in the deadly tornado 10 years ago today, December 16th, 2000, remembering those lost.